Hey everyone, welcome back to Python Learning. In this video, I'm going to discuss about set functions and a method. We all know that set is a data structure which is used to store distinct values. First, let me show you how to create a set. When I say distinct values, unique values, no repetitions. Okay. So first way of creating a set is basically using a curly braces. We just use like curly braces and comma separation. And let me try to print A. This is one way of creating a set. Second way is you can create a same set using set function. So you can use a set function and you can pass a values like 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. And let me try to print a B. Done. So basically, this is how we create a set. One is using curly braces, other one is using set function. Yeah. So next important thing is like a properties of a set. Sets are unordered. Unordered in the sense you could see clearly here. The elements that I pass into a set and the set it is written in is like completely different. Different in the sense like order is not the same. Sets are unordered. That means sets doesn't take a fixed position. Because of that nature, even if I try to perform a indexing slicing, it doesn't work. Indexing and slicing is not possible with sets because sets are not ordered, because set elements do not have a fixed position. It takes random places every time. Okay. And next important property is sets doesn't allow duplicates. Duplicates in the sense, let's say you are trying to create a set with a duplicative values. Let's say I'm creating set with some repetitive values. If you try to print A, you know what? It doesn't include a duplicates. It takes only one time. So that's the reason we call it it stores unique values, no repetition. Next important property is, sets are mutable, but set elements are immutable. Set elements are immutable. That means you cannot change set elements. You know that anyhow indexing itself is not possible. When indexing is not possible, obviously we cannot change the set elements. That's the reason set elements cannot be added, cannot be deleted specifically based on index position, because sets are immutable and they are unordered, no indexing, no slicing. Okay, but I said that sets are mutable. You can do some modifications like randomly you can add something into a set or you can remove random element from a set. So that's the reason we call sets are mutable. Set elements are immutable. Okay, and now let's discuss about our set functions. We have a different functions like a length, max, minimum, type, sum. So let's say, for example, you have a set something like this, 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 50. Okay, I just want to find the number of elements in a set. It just gives you 5. Similarly, you can try to find maximum element of A. It just gives you 50. If you want to know minimum element of A, it just gives you 10. If you want to find sum of elements in a set, you can just use sum of A. Similarly, if you want to find type, like what type of data is present in an object A, you can just use a type. So it says like it's a set. Okay, so now it's a time to explore different set methods. You know what? We have a different set methods, okay? First one is like creating copy of a list. Let's say, for example, you have a set like 1, 2, 3, and you want to create a copy of it. Exactly same elements, you have to store it in B variable. And now let me try to print a B. Do you think copy works? Yes, you can create an exact copy of your set. Okay. Next important thing. What if in case your set has a repeated values? Okay. And you want to find like count of occurrence of 4. So do you think count of 4 is going to be like a 2? So basically it's not working. You know why it's not working? It is not working because sets doesn't allow duplicates. So when sets doesn't allow duplicates, so there is no point in using a count function because every element will be one time, right? That's the reason it is throwing an error. Count doesn't apply to a set. So next important method is, what if you want to add an element at a random place in a set? Let's say, for example, you have numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry. Let's say you have a set like 100, 200, 300, 400. Let's say I want you people to add SQL into that. So how do you add? Simple, just call your a dot add and you just need to mention like what you have to add it. See? Let me print A and let me show you. Can you see SQL got added? It doesn't mean that it will add in a last, but it can add it anywhere. It can add in a random place in a set. Okay. So next important thing, what if you want to remove specific element? So this is our set, right? Let's say I want to remove 300. Okay, if you want to remove 300, we have two different options. One is a remove, another one is a discard option. Okay, so let me show you. A is equal to, let's create a set 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, let me take a same thing. First, let me try to remove a 300 with the help of a remove function. See, if I use a dot remove of 300, it's going to give me a set without 300 got removed. So similarly, you can also use a discard. Both remove and discard can be used for the same purpose. That is just to, remove specific element. But what is the difference? The difference that we can notice between remove and a discard, what if I try to remove a element which is not available in a set? So let's say I want to remove 3000, let's say I want to discard 3000. So clearly it shows that 3000 is not available in your set, right? So when you try to remove an element, you can use both remove and discard, both helps you in removing specific element. But what if you try to remove the element which is not available? In that case, remove throws an error, but discard doesn't throw you any error. So now you should decide which is best when you want to ignore errors. It's always good to go with a discard. Even if an element is not found, it just ignores it. It doesn't throw unnecessary errors. But when you want to track an error, when it has to show you the, if it has to show like if it's missing, if it has to show some message, then it's always good to go with a remove option. Okay, so the difference is remove basically throws an error when we try to remove an element which is not present. Discard will not throw any error when we try to remove an element which is not present. So it's always good to go with a discard when you want to avoid error. If you want an error, just go with a remove. Okay. All right. Next important thing, we have a pop. So what pop does, pop basically helps you in removing, specific element from a set. Okay, let's say this is your set, right? Okay, see, I'll just say like a dot pop. It doesn't follow any order, it just randomly removes some element. See, it's removing two. It has removed some random element from a set. You can try if you run again, like, if you just say like a dot pop, it will remove some other element. Now it's removing 10. It just removes a random element. Adding some element into a random place is possible, so sets are mutable. Removing random element is possible with respect to a set, so sets are mutable. But you cannot change the existing set element. Changing is not possible. That's the reason set element is immutable. Okay. Specifically, you cannot say, okay, change this element, delete this element only. We cannot say that. Okay. Yeah. So final thing, what if you want to clear set elements? Like if you want to remove all the set elements, you can just use like a dot clear. So when we use a dot clear, we're gonna get empty set by removing all the elements of a set. Okay. All right, great. Next interesting thing about, sets is like union. So people might have studied about a union intersection in your lower classes, right? Union in the sense, it's going to return all the elements from your data. I mean, from two sets. So you have A and B here. If I do A dot union of B, like what it's going to return? A dot union of B will return all the elements from both the sets. And if something is repeating, it takes only one time. All the elements means like everything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4 is repeated, so it's taking only one time because sets doesn't allow duplicates. Okay, this is all about a union. Next interesting thing is an intersection. Intersection in the sense it has to return a common elements from two sets. Okay, so just use A dot intersection of B. It's giving common elements. 3, 4 are the common elements in both the sets. Can you see? 3, 4 is common. Similarly, difference. A minus B means it will return everything from A which are not in B. So I'll just say A dot difference of B. A minus B in the sense A dot difference of B. Now it will give you everything from A which is not in B. Everything from A which is not in B means only 1 and 2. Can you say? Everything from A which are not in B. So 3, 4 is in B, so I cannot take it. A minus B is 1, 2. Similarly, you can also try, B minus A, which is B dot difference of A. This is going to give you all the elements from B which are not in A. So this is all about, set functions and a method that you have to remember. I hope it's clear. Happy learning.